This is AJ here. She's going to tell you guys the story of how she went from 0 to 75K since starting in September. So, AJ, tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you want to start TikTok Shop.
Yeah. So I started TikTok Shop in September of 24, mainly just looking for extra income. Was tired of kind of just living the day to day, paycheck to paycheck. And of course, saw everybody on TikTok wanting or making good money. And I was like, well, let's try it.
Okay, awesome. And was it like someone specifically that made you want to start this journey? Did you see someone online or?
I don't know that there was necessarily a specific person. I just kept seeing like multiple people saying that they were making money online. So I was like, okay, it's not just one person. It's these are multiple people like being able to show that they've actually made money. And I mean, to be honest, I wasn't looking to get rich or quit my job at that point. I
Yeah,
just wanted, like just some play money.
some play money. No, fair enough. And did you have any experience with social media or businesses before doing all of this?
Zero.
Zero. Okay. Awesome. And were you nervous or skeptical about joining like courses and stuff at first, before starting this?
Um, yeah, when I first got into TikTok Shop and even before then, I was like, okay, do I need a course? Do I not need a course? Like, what free info can I get? And at that point, like, I didn't have a whole lot of money to invest
Mm.
in, so I was a little bit nervous, about spending money on like the education piece. But there was like so much that I thought I knew and realized that I didn't.
Mm.
So it was definitely worth it, I think, as far as the course goes.
And what was kind of one of the biggest challenges you had when you first started TikTok Shop?
I think the first thing with TikTok Shop is, to be honest, it's probably the conflicting information that you get from every video. So and so saying use this kind of text or don't use captions, hashtags like SEO. I was just like, I don't know. So I was using these big bold, letters all over my videos, and it turns out like probably not the most effective. It doesn't look quite as natural, right? So like things like that with conflicting information, and hooks. Hooks are always the, I don't know, the pain
Yes.
point I think of a lot of people.
Okay, fair enough. And what was that moment where you had like a big breakthrough where you realized like, hey, I'm doing something finally right? Like what was it, a tip that I gave you? Was it something that you watched from our course? How did that work for you?
I think it was a little bit of a combination of the feedback that you guys give, right? Is so it's so different than the other feedback that I've gotten in different like groups and even like free groups. Um, for example, like it's just like real and raw. It's not sugar coated. You're not telling me like, hey, this is a really great video when it's really not. Like I trust that feedback. So I think incorporating that feedback and then kind of watching things kind of grow, and stay steady as far as income goes. I was like, okay, this is like for the long haul, real deal.
And did you ever have a moment where you wanted to give up on TikTok?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think TikTok shop's a lot harder. I
mm,
think more mentally than anything. A lot of people, make it out to seem like you're like, oh, I'm just gonna record a video and post it. There's a lot more like psychological pieces that go into that piece of content that not a ton of people talk about. But understanding is very, very important if you want to convert. So I think not knowing that in the beginning was like, what am I doing this for? Like, so
yeah, okay. And what would your biggest advice be to people that are brand new that want to start this and want to make their life all about TikTok Shop?
yeah. Great question. I would say there's a few things. I would say really decide that you're going to go all in. I think that a lot of affiliates probably kind of fizzle out a little bit because they are still kind of on the fence. like go all in if you want to make money. That is like that's probably the number one, and commit to that. I think my second advice is to join the group. Um, I can't tell you, I have paid thousands of dollars in other trainings and courses and feedbacks and coaches, and they don't even compare at all to the feedback that I've gotten from you. Like it's like insane. Um, because I've done some comparison too of like, okay, I'm going to send this, to Patrick. I'm going to see what the feedback is. And then I'm going to send it to like these three other groups. And I'm wondering like, where are we at, with this video? And the feedback is just from the other ones. It's too fluffy. It's like, oh, well, that was, kind of good. Maybe I would change, this. But you guys give me a completely different perspective, a completely different like angle, like things that I just would never even think about. And then making those tweaks like has made a huge difference. So definitely join a course and somebody who's going to give you real feedback. And they're not going to sugarcoat anything because that's what I find a lot of the times.
Wow.
I think my third piece of advice is budget your time wisely because TikTok, I think, is a mental game sometimes where you may have something that pops off and it's great, and you may think that your video was so fire and then it just like doesn't do anything. And that's okay, right? It is a mental game. Manage that wisely, manage your time wisely, whether it's a calendar or like some type of organization. I think that starting out would have helped me a lot more.
Okay. Awesome, AJ. Thank you so much for that. And what was one of the biggest months you've had on TikTok Shop?
The biggest months that I've had, I think, was like December and January. Like the peak holiday season definitely was the biggest. I think in January, um, I made, I want to say it was like 15 or 20,000 like in 1 month. And I like
Wow.
literally, there was like $1,000 days that I was like literally dying. I was freaking out.
Yeah. So what was the first reaction when you told someone, like family or friends that you were making this much on TikTok?
It was more like, I'm sorry, what? Like they didn't really believe me. Like we all hear about it, right? That money can be made, but not a lot of people like know someone who has made money or that kind. So it was definitely disbelief.
Wow. And did any family or friends want to get some of your advice to get started on TikTok?
Yeah, actually, my sister-in-law just recently was like, maybe I could do this, and I'm like, well, you definitely can. If I can do it with a full-time
Mhm.
job and I work, I mean, I work like all the freaking time, 50, 60 hours a week sometimes, and I'm still able to push out, at least 5 pieces of content a day. Um, it goes in roller coasters, but yeah, my sister-in-law is like, if I can do it, can you teach me? And I'm like, I can give you my tips, but here's what I'm going to advise you to do. I'm going to advise you to join this group because
Mhm. And
I can't give her everything. Yeah, there's not enough time in my day, but
wow, that's awesome. How has this TikTok money changed your life? Like, were you able to take care of more bills, groceries? How has it helped you, like, overall?
overall, this has really kind of it's kept us afloat like financially. We have my husband's got a business and it's seasonal. So we often have to like save a bunch of money for the winter. And that really kind of cuts into like vacations and fun time, like in the summer when he is working a ton. This has kind of helped ease some of that where I'm like, hey, we can like live off this. We put a down payment on a truck that we are now expanding that business. So it's like literally everything from groceries to starting another business and like everything in between.
And you know what? You mentioned you're working full time and you're still posting 5 posts a day. Kind of walk us through how you're able to do that with taking care of your kids still and managing your personal life.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I would have to say that that's probably it is a tough part. I'm not going to lie, right? Finding time and making time is definitely a challenge. What I like to do and what seems to work best for me is to do a lot of batch content. So I will like record, and then I will like edit and post like throughout the week. There's, most of the time I'm recording at night, or like this when I'm in my car after I drop the kids off at daycare or school. I record a few, I go in to work, on my lunch break, like any little piece, any little speck of time that I have to record or edit, I'm doing it. So like I don't really doom scroll anymore. Like I don't really have time for that. So
Yeah.
I have to make time and schedule things very strategically, but it can be done. And I've done it since September. So
Wow. Wow. I love that mindset. That's amazing. I mean, so many people are very afraid of starting something like this because they have a 9 to 5, but the fact that you're still able to post 5 times a day, which is more than some people post who don't have a job, is pretty amazing. So great
yeah,
on you for
yeah,
that.
batch content has definitely helped. That's for sure. But yeah, time management's been huge. And I wasn't always great about it, and I still can improve. But,
What's your biggest goal with TikTok Shop?
I think my biggest goal with TikTok is being able to buy a second property in Florida. I think that's like number one. Would I love to quit my job and do this full time? Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think, would I like to have a vacation home for my family before that? Yeah. So I would say buy a second home, um, and expand our business even more, and then retire on the beach.
Wow. That all sounds amazing. And
Yeah,
is Florida, is there just family over there, or is it just a nice location you like?
it's just beautiful. Yeah. I'm a total water person, so the ocean is just like my soul is at home. So every time we go every single year on vacation to Florida, because happy wife, happy life. And I never want to leave. I'm so ready to move there.
Wow.
So that's definitely the goal.
Well, that's amazing. And what's your biggest goals with TikTok Shop, let's say in the next 3 months? What numbers do you want to hit?
Yeah, next 3 months, I've really kind of started thinking a little bit more about this strategically, probably in the last like few weeks. So this is like a perfect question, because I think that there's a lot of questions and confusion around like brand deals or TikTok or like samples versus like doing something like a retainer. And what I have found, is the blend of them both, is making me a decent amount of money. But I think that going straight TikTok shop again, is my goal, because I was making actually slightly more, not slightly more. I was making more. It just didn't have the consistency like in my mind, right? Like you could have a video, you could not. Um, and like pumping those out for retainers, it's a little bit more consistent. So like your mindset's already there, like because your normal 9 to 5, right, is consistent. So I kind of went down that path. I think I'm actually shooting for like 10 to 15K a month consistently in the next few months, and I'll be doing straight TikTok shop. I probably won't be doing any retainers.
Did you know that there was more opportunities than just being a creator on TikTok, like with brand deals and such?
Not really. I kind of just thought it was like straight, just straight samples and TikTok and um trending products. I really didn't think that the brand deal side of things would actually come into play until I was like big, right? Like,
Yeah, and they all started reaching out, right?
yeah. And then,
Mhm.
yeah, so there's a ton of brand deals. I actually have a spreadsheet, where, like, this month, as an example, um, with my brand deals alone, so that's not my regular TikToks, that's not commission. I'll make about 4 grand. I think that that's slightly a little excessive. I don't know how normal that is. I think the bigger you get, the more you get. But like obviously there's enough brand deals to at least clear 4 grand.
Yeah, right. It's just it's amazing, right? One thing you're promoting, you get commission, and then now it's, brand deals
Mhm.
are now, or they're giving you deals for posting 30 videos for two or 3,000, right? It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
it just like grows from there because I've even gotten brand deals, or people like reaching out and they're like, hey, we worked with you before on this, we just launched a new product,
Mhm.
what do you want to do, so like that opens a whole new door of contacts and who you know and who you can reach out to, and all of that. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it gets to the point where you really scale that brand, I mean, that brand might use you on Facebook, maybe on Instagram,
mhm.
right? So
Yep.
definitely a lot of outreach. And how did you feel about getting all those free samples? I know you had a few of them.
I am the sample freaking queen. I
Yeah.
cannot say no. Don't do it. I think that's my main takeaway. The more that you make in GMV, right, the more that TikTok will send you these coupons that are like $200 worth of coupons, $150 worth of coupons. And I think my highest was like 43, 46 coupon or samples in my queue to make. What a nightmare. Um, Honestly, I outside of getting those products like for free from TikTok, I don't know that I've really even like sold many of those. And then you get to a point where you're like, oh crap, I got to make 46 videos, and you don't put your effort into them because you're just trying to slam them out. And that's just the nature of having 46. But
Yeah.
um, I think as far as like samples go, definitely request the trending viral ones, or buy them if you can. I personally, looking back, wouldn't really waste my time on the coupons unless there's like something that I really, really want and would enjoy. But like from a strategic like sales perspective, I wouldn't even. Don't kill yourself over that like I did.
But
Multiple times, by the way, multiple times.
yeah, it is pretty nice, right? You get all these free samples, you're promoting them, and I mean, you just get unlimited coupons as long as you keep going, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is nice to have that option. I definitely think that hey, when you get them, maybe do one, but I had like three or four back to back that got me to that 46. And I was like, okay, so I should have cooled it. And then that didn't really leave time for posting about viral things, or trending things. And I think that kind of hindered some of the growth that I could have seen because I was, having to put those ones out. So, I mean, they're nice. Absolutely. Like, who's going to turn down free $200 worth of coupons?
Exactly.
But you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gets addicting. I mean, the amount of samples that we get is pretty crazy. I mean, I've seen some people have like hundreds of samples just sitting in their closet, just they've
Oh,
made
yeah.
a whole spot for it.
Yeah. I've had to buy storage bins for lots of stuff.
What'd you love most about the mentorship? Like, what feature was it? More of just the one-on-one calls, the detailed reviews, or the course?
I would say the best thing and like the biggest feature, about the group personally is the one-on-one feedback. I think that every little piece of it has value. But for me to know that my video is in front of somebody who's actually taking the time to kind of dissect it and give me a different perspective, that holds the most value. I think, secondly, in the group calls, the amount of additional information that you guys like bring to that, like Google Docs that talk about like the psychology, almost like workbooks that I can take offline and fill out, you know chat GPT prompts or whatever, because like I can prompt in chat GPT, but there's, maybe just one little tweak that you guys have found that gives me like a whole different, answer, so to speak. So there's definitely lots of pieces of value. I love the community too. I think we all give each other, feedback and support. And it's kind of like a close family feel where I'm like, hey guys, I'm back. like work really was crazy. I haven't been here for, a hot minute.
Mhm.
So that's valuable in itself, but I think above all else would be the feedback.
Thank you so much, AJ. I mean, yeah, we love
Yeah.
having you in here. I mean, you know what? Out of most of our people, I would say like you're probably one of the most consistent because I know in the first few months we had some struggles, but then I think in your like third or fourth month you like really blew up. And then obviously it got you to that 75K mark. But amazing work though on the consistency with having a full-time job as well. That's remarkable for sure.
Yeah. It's a learning curve, but it's definitely worth it. Yeah, like I couldn't make this money anywhere else. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, someone who has like no prior experience, right? It's they're able to take
none.
on something big like this. I mean, it's making people rich during this time, so it's crazy.
Yeah. And I always said, like, I will never do sales. Like, my mom can sell water to a whale. I'm like, you say no, I'm like, all right. And so the fact that like I'm still able to make money and do this is crazy.
One last question.
Yeah.
Were you afraid to show your face when you first started? And if you were, what advice would you give to some of the people who are nervous about their family or friends seeing them?
Oh hell yeah. Yeah. Um do it. Just do it. Like they're not paying your bills. They're not making your dreams come true. Just show it because faceless content can work, but it doesn't work as much or like as often as actually seeing someone's face. Um my mom's like waving at me.
Yeah.
Um I would say just do it now because the more that you do it, the easier it gets. Like now I'm like, there's videos where like I don't even wear makeup in it. And I'm like, this is real life. Whereas before I would have to like make sure every hair was in place and like no, people want real life. They want to see your face and go for it because the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on this call with me. I know in the next few
Absolutely.
months, let's get you to those bigger numbers.
Yes, we are. We are. I will be messaging you here in a little bit with some recent videos. So let's go for it.
Awesome. Awesome, AJ. Love the energy. And I know we're probably gonna have to come back and make another video when we hit a 50K month. So
Yes, let's do it. That's the
okay.
goal.
That is the goal.
50K month.
Awesome.
We
Okay,
got it.
AJ. Yeah, again, thank you so much. And I hope you have an amazing day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay,
We'll
awesome.
talk to you later.
See you.